We start in BCAP, exactly the same place. We help increase self-awareness by helping you identify where your limits are and see yourself for the very first time. Where does that all begin? By understanding influence. That's where it all begins. Influence comes to us in three different ways: cultural, social, and societal, and then environmental. So essentially the culture in which you were raised and currently live, whether that's changed or otherwise, the social and societal nuances of either your community or your country or whatever it might be, and then environmental, your immediate circle of influence, which starts when you're a kid, your parents and siblings, teachers, peers. All of that, okay, all of those different kinds or types of influence, they establish what we often call your self-image, meaning it's not your true self. It's your image that you have been bred to see yourself as. How do you see yourself? How do you see the world? How do you see your place in the world? And I want to give you a really cool example of that. And it's not like, there's no like cynicism in this, okay? We live in Canada. A lot of our clients and customers live in the United States, okay? Our next retreat is in Cyprus, okay? We had an American couple contact us and say, you know what, we really want to go to this retreat, but with the way the world is these days in terrorism, Cyprus is just not a safe place. So we want to go, let us know next time you're in North America. And like, we're not making fun of them for having that opinion.
Sure.
But we live in Canada. Never even crossed our minds. Cyprus is a dangerous place. Cyprus is safe as fuck.
Right.
Is it in I think the broader point is not debating whether or not Cyprus is safe or where it is in the world. The broader point is Americans are constantly bombarded with messages of terrorism and Amber Alerts and look, for good or bad reasons, I'm not getting political about this. What I'm saying is that's the cultural environment. We don't get that in Canada.
Right.
We don't get a lot of like watch for, and we just don't get a lot of it. It never would occur to us to consider somewhere in Europe as unsafe and with all the terror. So, I mean, that's an example of cultural influence on a current level that people don't even realize affects them. A lot of people see the world as unsafe because of the major cultural influences in their world. Not necessarily because it is safe or it isn't safe. That's not what I'm pointing out. What I'm pointing out is the influence often gives us the perception without us even realizing it. And in that case, we're seeing the world in the image that it is, not the trueness that it is.
Completely.
Does that make sense? And that was just a cultural example.
It makes complete sense.
But if you want to understand yourself and you want to see who you really are, you've got to unshed the layers of those cultural influences.
Completely.
And the social influences. And the environmental influences when you were a kid and your dad talked about rich people are greedy. And you wonder why, as a 40-year-old, you can't make money.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's because you have a very, very strong unconscious bias towards wealthy people being greedy. And you don't even realize it. See my point? I want to see hearts if you understand where I'm going with that.
So powerful.
And that's where it starts. Our retreat level 1 and our BCAP, it starts with Sawabona and the whole reality of influence.
I love it.
Yes.